We'll start this morning with some big breaking news.
Rodrygo Goes has officially begun life as an Arsenal player, and his arrival at the Emirates Stadium for his very first training session has already set pulses racing across North London and beyond. When the Brazilian star stepped onto the pitch in Arsenal colours for the first time, it was not just the beginning of a personal journey but also a clear statement of intent from the club. The Emirates faithful have long dreamed of marquee signings that can transform the team's fortunes, and Rodrygo represents precisely that, a player in his prime, tested at the very highest level, now ready to bring his flair and winning mentality to a side on the rise. The day began with Rodrygo being escorted from London Colney, where he had undergone some initial fitness assessments, to the Emirates where a carefully orchestrated media event captured every detail. Cameras followed him as he walked down the tunnel, glanced around the empty stands, and touched the hallowed turf that will now be his battleground. It was a moment that encapsulated hope, ambition, and excitement, not only for the supporters but also for the coaching staff who have been eagerly anticipating his integration into the squad. Rodrygo's first interview after setting foot on the pitch was short yet impactful. He declared that he was ready to give everything, that he had chosen Arsenal because of the project, and that he wanted to be part of making history with this club. For fans who have grown accustomed to hearing cautious promises, his confidence and conviction were refreshing. The training session itself was not designed to push him to the brink. Instead, Mikel Arteta and his staff opted for a gradual introduction, allowing Rodrygo to adjust to the tempo, the environment, and the rhythm of Arsenal's high-intensity sessions. Even so, it was clear from the first touches that the Brazilian had not come to England merely to make up the numbers. His sharpness was immediately evident in rondos and possession drills, his quick feet dazzling teammates and drawing murmurs of appreciation from the sidelines. What was perhaps most encouraging was the way he linked up with Martin Odegaard, his former teammate from Real Madrid. The two seemed to fall back into a natural understanding, exchanging short, sharp passes and demonstrating an awareness of each other's movement that suggested their connection could soon flourish in competitive matches. The atmosphere on the training pitch was light-hearted but purposeful. Gabriel Jesus and Gabriel Martinelli made sure their compatriot felt welcome, joking with him, offering encouragement, and even celebrating a training ground finish with a brief samba-inspired dance. Those small details may seem trivial, but they matter in building chemistry and easing the adaptation process for a new player, especially one arriving with the weight of expectation that Rodrygo carries. Arsenal fans have already begun speculating about the devastating potential of a Brazilian-led attack, with Martinelli, Jesus, and Rodrygo combining alongside Saka and Odegaard to form one of the most frightening forward lines in Europe. Naturally, much of the discussion surrounding Rodrygo's signing has focused on where he will fit tactically. At Real Madrid, he was primarily deployed on the right wing but also demonstrated versatility by playing on the left or even centrally when required. Arsenal, however, already have Bukayo Saka firmly established on the right, one of the best young players in the world. Rather than seeing this as a dilemma, Arteta views it as an opportunity. In his press conference earlier this week, the manager noted that Rodrygo is an intelligent footballer who understands space and timing, and that the plan is to use him where he can inflict maximum damage. That could mean rotating with Saka to prevent fatigue, operating on the left to stretch defenses, or even filling a false nine role in certain tactical setups. For Arsenal, the key is flexibility, and Rodrygo's arrival gives them the ability to adapt, surprise, and outmaneuver opponents. The reaction from supporters has been nothing short of euphoric. Social media platforms lit up with videos of Rodrygo's first touches in training, his first interactions with teammates, and even simple clips of him jogging in Arsenal gear. One fan declared that seeing Rodrygo in red and white felt like a dream, while another imagined how terrifying a front line of Martinelli, Jesus, and Rodrygo would be for opposition defenses. This excitement is not just about the player himself but what his signing represents. For years, Arsenal were accused of lacking ambition, of being unwilling to spend big or attract top-tier stars. Now, with Rodrygo walking onto their pitch, the perception has shifted dramatically. Arsenal are no longer just a project with potential, they are a destination for some of the world's best talents. Edu Gasper, the sporting director, spoke candidly about what this signing means for the club. He said Rodrygo is the type of player who elevates the entire project, someone who brings not only quality and skill but also a winning mentality forged at Real Madrid. Despite his youth, he has already played in and won some of the biggest matches in world football, and that experience is invaluable for a squad still learning to navigate the demands of competing on multiple fronts. Edu added that Rodrygo chose Arsenal because he believed in what the club was building, a testament to how far the project has come under Arteta's leadership. Looking ahead, Rodrygo is expected to make his first unofficial appearance in a behind-closed-doors friendly designed to boost his match sharpness and give him a chance to understand Arsenal's tactical framework in a competitive setting without the pressure of a public debut. Supporters, though, are already marking their calendars for the upcoming Premier League fixtures and the looming Champions League clash at the Emirates, hoping to see him in action sooner rather than later. Arteta will be cautious not to rush him, but given the player's eagerness and evident readiness, it is only a matter of time before he makes his competitive bow. Rodrygo's arrival is more than just an exciting transfer, it is symbolic of a new era at Arsenal. Once considered outsiders in the battle for Europe's biggest names, the club now finds itself in a position of genuine power. They are back in the Champions League, competing at the sharp end of the Premier League, and steadily building a squad capable of challenging for the highest honors. Rodrygo's first steps on the Emirates pitch are a tangible reminder of that evolution. For him, this is the opportunity to step out of the shadow of the Galacticos and establish himself as a leading man in his own right. For Arsenal, it is a chance to add another world-class weapon to an already formidable arsenal. As he walked off the pitch after his first session, smiling and chatting with teammates, it was easy to sense that Rodrygo already feels at home. The chemistry is beginning to form, the excitement is palpable, and the belief around the club has never been stronger. This is not just a signing, it is a moment that could define the trajectory of Arsenal for years to come. For supporters watching closely, the dream is clear. Rodrygo goes, the Brazilian star who once dazzled at the Bernabeu, is now ready to write his story at the Emirates, and that story might just end in silverware, glory, and a legacy that Arsenal fans will cherish forever.